Greetings, everybody. In case somebody doesn't know me, let me introduce myself first. My name is Denis Fedorov. I'm a technical writer at Logiqstar, and today we're conducting another Logiqstar webinar. This time around, I'm not the only presenter. I have two co-hosts with me. It's Eric Robitz, who is a business development manager at Logiqstar, and Sergey Chernenko, managing director of Xpand. They may chime in from time to time during the webinar to drop their comments or simply provide a helping hand if necessary. So be aware of them. The topic of today's session is Logiqstar Partner Portal, which is a completely overhauled version of the previous portal. As you can see, the name has been changed to Partner Portal. This new version of the portal is expected to arrive in Logiqstar version 5.2. At the end of the session, you will have a chance to ask your questions in the form of chat within Skype for Business. For the period of the webinar, could you please turn off your microphones to avoid any noise that might come from the area that you are located in? Thank you for that. Also, for more information, you're welcome to follow us on the social media channels, our newsletter on the website, Facebook, as well as LinkedIn pages, which will be shown at the end. Also note that this session is going to be recorded, and this PowerPoint presentation and the links to the video will be sent to you in an email after the webinar. I'm excited to show you what's in store for you with this brand new version of the portal. But before digging into the details, let me give you a rundown of what you're about to see during this session. First, I'm going to give you a general overview of the Partner Portal solution. I'll talk about the structure, its capabilities in general. Then I'll start the live demo part of the webinar and cover three areas that define the Partner Portal. It's the front end. This is where the end users actually work. Then content management solution, which is used as a backend to manage the front end part. And after that, since the solution is integrated with Microsoft Dynamics NAV and Logiqstar in particular, I'll show you the NAV side where you configure the communication between Logiqstar and Partner Portal. Afterwards, we'll have a look at the responsive design of the portal and what it implies. And finally, we'll have a Q&A session where you'll be able to ask questions about the portal. So that's the plan for today. All right, let's begin. Let me say a few words about what Logiqstar Partner Portal is all about. This is a track and trace web application designed for customers and partners where you can get an overview of various information from Logiqstar, such as operational orders, quotes, invoices, and other documents. In addition to viewing documents that come from Logiqstar, you can upload documents directly to the portal as well as download documents from the portal. Moreover, Partner Portal is tailored to your corporate identity. What does this mean? The solution provides flexible settings for admins to customize what kind of information should be available for each portal member, or additionally, Logiqstar Portal can be customized to work with other third-party ERP systems. The portal users can view and modify certain information on the portal in accordance with their permissions and upload various documents. And not only the layout of the portal can be tailored to your corporate identity, such as the color, logo, contact information, etc., but also by the means of CMS side, which is only accessible for administrators. Everything can be configured to your needs. I'll show you a glimpse of that later today. Also, Partner Portal is tailored to the user. This means that information available on the portal is specifically filtered by the user who is currently signed in to the portal. The front end of the portal only displays information retrieved from Logiqstar according to their permissions and portal settings. For example, you can only see operational orders in which you are the customer or a carrier, or only see the documents which you are allowed to see or download. Other features of the Partner Portal include customizable dashboards, uploading and downloading documents, customizable views, and more. You're about to see all of this just in a moment. From the point of view of the portal structure, this is the three-tier solution. As you can see on this simplified view, where the first tier is the NAV connector. This is where you configure communication between Logiqstar and Partner Portal. You define what kind of data should be transferred from Logiqstar to the portal and which data should arrive from the portal to NAV. The second tier is the content management system. Just as with any other web application, here you set up pages that will display data that comes from NAV, how these pages will look like, which pages will be available, you define portal members, and so on. And the third tier is the front end of the partner portal. This is a website where end users actually work. They see data from Logiqstar after the site was configured in CMS, and where they can do certain manipulation of the data, such as edit certain fields or upload and download documents. From the point of view of data flow, data may come from both from NAV to partner portal and from the portal back to NAV according to the configuration in the NAV connector. All three tiers of the solution have been completely overhauled in the new version. For example, on the NAV side, the setup of the portal has been reworked to make it more flexible, which means you can choose from which table to transfer data to the portal, including the standard tables. And the best part about it is that previously to add new tables to the communication process, some additional development was required. Now it can be configured simply with setup. The release package will come with a number of pre-configured tables for which the corresponding views are already set up on the CMS side, but you can add more if required. On the CMS side, the user interface has been reworked to make it better all the way through. This is the new dashboard designer that allows you to customize the dashboards that the users see when they sign into the partner portal. The possibilities of the setup were revised and expanded, and it was made simpler to work with. For fields, tooltips were added to help users understand how to configure the solution. Also, the ability to set up the portal themes was added. On the front-end side, the whole look has been revamped, including how the dashboards, the menu, and the views look like. And on top of that, some new features were added. Now let's move on to the next part of this webinar, where I'm going to demonstrate how each of these three constituent elements on the partner portal actually look like in a live environment. We are going to see how the portal looks like based on the current configuration. This is what you're seeing here is the sign-in page of the front-end part of the portal. As you can see here, you can see the logo of the company. You see some selection of the languages in case you have several localizations of the portal. Then you have some welcome text as well as the login fields and the background picture. Right away, I'm going to, even before we sign in, I'm going to demonstrate that everything that you see here can be customized. To do it, I'll go to the CMS site. Then I'll go to the accounts and login page. Here you can see the current login page image. I'm going to remove it. And select a new one. On top of that, I'm going to add some custom subtitle, which wasn't displayed before, but it will be displayed now. For example, it could be here, for example, a company name. Then I'm going to save and publish, and all the changes are going to be instantly available. So if I refresh the page, as you can see, here is a new background image that has appeared, as well as our subtitle that we have just added. Now we're going to sign in and see how the portal actually looks like, the front end of the portal. This is a home page of the portal, which actually is a dashboard. You may think of it as a role center in NAV, because everything that you see here is tailored to the current user who is currently signed in. And everything is customizable according to the for every user that is working with the portal. You see here some order statistics, where you can see the number of orders depending on the order flow type, as well as the total number. You can see some sales statistics. In this case, it's only invoice documents, and also some standard reminders that display the overdue reminders about the overdue amounts for customers. On the right side, you can see some statistics in the form of graphs. In the default configuration, you have only 2 options here that you can change. By the way, everything is clickable here. If I click a certain tile, I'll go to the corresponding view and it will be filtered by the order flow type that I selected. Let me go back here. The same applies to the graph. If I may click certain elements to open the view, which will be filtered by the chosen elements. Also on the home page, you can see some list views where we can see the recent documents. These are the documents that were uploaded by various users recently, and also my documents. My documents are the documents that I have personally uploaded. Right now, this list is empty, but I'm going to do it today to demonstrate to you how to upload documents. Also on top, you can see a header with some links to other pages. For example, you can see About Us, where we can get some information, for example, about a company. Also, we have the FAQ link. Actually, this is linked to an external website. So as you can see, the portal is not only about retrieving data from an ERP system or working with that data. It can be like normal web pages where you can display some information in the form of text and images, not necessarily work with data that comes from NAV. Again, right now I'm going to demonstrate how you can customize this homepage. For example, I would like to add another link here at the top, like terms and conditions, which is often present on such sites. To do it, I'm going back to the CMS. Here on this localization tab, you can see the current available header links. Let's say I want to add the terms and conditions. The links that I add can be linked either to an external website or to an internal page within the portal. In this case, I'm going to link it to an internal page. So if I go back to my dashboard, oh, actually I didn't click add, sorry. Now it should be available. So now when I have refreshed the page, my new link has instantly appeared. And if I click it, the corresponding page is displayed with terms and conditions that has been previously created for this site. So let me go back to the menu of the site. Again, a few words about the portal. This solution was built to open up Logiqstar to the outside world. This means that Logiqstar customers will not only use it as a platform to share data with their customers and suppliers, but also to communicate with each other by means of sharing data and sharing documents. The partner portal shows such lists as quotes, order information, documents related to orders, goods and container details, invoices and credit memos, as well as stock list in its default configuration. Now I'll give you a brief walkthrough of each of these application areas. For example, quotes here. Within the quotes view, the customer can get an overview of quote information with proposed prices, with details about services and surcharges. Here he also has the option to download or export a quote document, for example, to print it out. Let me just open the card that can be opened by right-clicking the record and choosing Edit, or simply choosing this Edit icon here. So here you can see the quote card, which is a similar to a page in NAV, but most of the fields here are not editable because this is intended to be so. Like most of the information is to be should be for viewing purposes only, but some of the fields can be made editable. For example, the comment field here. Also, you can download this document right away by choosing this icon here. And here you can see the quotes that you can print out, for example, and send it in an email or whatever you want to do with it. Then another view here, we have orders, which actually has two filters here. With it displays either all open orders or only closed orders. The orders view is commonly used by the customers and suppliers to get an overview about shipments. Shipment information consists of general information such as the shipment number, references, the shipper, consignee, transport company, transport name, together with the departure and destination addresses, as well as shipping and arrival dates, for example. As you can see, some of the columns in this current view are freezed, but and you can scroll to the right to see the values. Let's open the card, just similar to the quotes, and see how it looks like. Here, the card doesn't display information from a single page in Logiqstar. You may think of it as a summary of information from multiple task pages within an operational order. Again, here we have an editable field, which is called agent comments, where the comments from an agent can be added. They're synchronized back to the ERP Logiqstar order nodes and assigned to the file manager, so he's notified about it in his role center. And I'm going to do it right now immediately so that we can check it up later. So I've entered a comment. I'm going to save the changes. We'll go back to it later when I'm going to switch to the NAV connector, so we will see how this comment looks like on the NAV side. The order card can also be used to review information about the goods and containers of the shipment and provides a document section where all documents the forwarder wants to share with the different parties are available for download or printing. This part of the shipment information is frequently used since it minimizes work that is currently done by phone or via email. For example, when a specific transport company is used to do truck transportation, the transport company will create a CMR document. This CMR document is uploaded to the shipment by the transporter, and via the Logiqstar portal, it immediately becomes available for the customer, and is also synchronized with the ERP system and provided to the forwarder. The principle can be used in a lot of different ways, like opening up the Logiqstar portal with external warehouses to share pictures of the goods related to quality inspection, for example. Additionally, the order card contains all related invoices which are sent to the customer and are available for download or printing, depending on your needs. Thus, this list of documents that can be available here contains both the documents that are uploaded on the portal and the documents that arrive from NAV. So right now this list is empty. Actually, let me go to the another order that contains a little bit more information. Here you can see, just an example of the currently available documents here, as well as some container details. Let's change the comment here. So let's try and upload a new document here so that we'll see how it's going to be synchronized with the Logiqstar in NAV. To do this, I'm going to click this plus icon. For example, I want to upload this CMR document. I'm going to write its description. Then I need to select a contact within the operational order that this document will be assigned to. and select the actual file that will be uploaded. Here you can see that this document has appeared, as well as an additional icon, which allows me to delete it. You can delete only the documents that you personally uploaded to the portal, and if a document was uploaded by another user, you can only download it or view it from the page. Again, later, together with this comment, we'll check it up in NAV when I'm going to switch to it a bit later within this session. Besides having this information all available for each order or shipment, all information on the portal is also available for analysis in the form of various other views, such as container and goods, views with documents, invoices, and so on, which is available through the menu here. The partner portal is configured in such a way that for each party can only see what they are entitled to see. For example, a transport company will have a limited view of data and documents, and the customer will see everything except documents sent by the forwarder to the transport company. Let me open the order list again and demonstrate a few things that a portal member can do with data that he's seeing, depending on the permissions settings, of course. For example, using the controls that are currently available for the currently sending user, I can do certain manipulations with columns, such as sort them either in the ascending or descending order. I can, for example, select which of the columns I want to be available to be displayed for me. I can set certain filters by values, or I can lock and unlock columns. Locking and unlocking is something similar to the freeze panes in Excel. For example, here are all the unlocked columns, and if, for example, I want to make this order date locked, then it becomes freezed here along with all the other columns, and then I can scroll to the right and see the values in this column all the time. Then we have a quick search functionality, which is a full text search that allows me to quickly filter the currently displayed records by certain field values. For example, I want to find the orders that where the cocoa goods are transferred. And here the records have been filtered right away by the by my search query. Another thing that you can do with it, you can save the view after you have made some modifications to it. For example, you change the sorting, you change the order of the fields. Actually, you can do it by simply dragging the columns. Probably you change the freezing and so on. All these modifications can be saved in your custom view. You can give it a name, for example. My personal view, and it becomes available in the list of views or in the menu. So every time you open this list, it doesn't have to be the default view, but it can be the one that you personally customize for yourself. Let's see at the other application areas, for example, goods. Here, not only information about the goods is displayed, but also about the containers in which goods are transferred. And by default, as you can see, information is filtered by the container number. You can you can group these records simply by dragging the fields to this grouping header. Let me remove the current grouping. And for example, group it by the container type. And as you can see, the view has been changed. And again, I can save this view with my custom view so that it will be displayed all the time if I open the goods page on the portal. Then we have the stock that displays two views, stock list and stock movements. Stock list is the view that shows an overview of all inventory entries for a specific commodity, item, or stock keeping units. It will show you stock quantities and weights from advised or final point of view, together with other stock-related information such as terminal, warehouse, and locations. And the stock movements view displays not only inventory movements such as coming in and going out of the warehouse, but also displays transformations and stock releases to other parties. This makes it possible, for example, to see what was loaded or unloaded for a specific commodity in a specific terminal. Then we have the documents section. By default, it has 3 submenus. The first one displays all the documents that the current user is entitled to see. Then there are My Documents. These are the documents that I have personally uploaded to the portal. As you can see, there's only one that we have uploaded for order 12. And there's also Assigned to Me, which displays the documents that were assigned by other users to me. And currently nobody assigned anything, that's why this list is empty at the moment. Just as in any other places, you can download your documents here to view them or print them out if you need to do so. Then we have the financials section of the portal. This section displays the financial information related to finance, such as the invoices and credit memos that are related to the orders displayed on the portal. Again, you can download these documents and open them up if required. Also, we have reminders. Reminders, these are standard NAV reminders. You can use them to remind customers about overdue amounts or to calculate finance charges such as interest or fees and include them on the reminder. They're created either manually on the NAV side or automatically for customers with overdue amounts. Okay, I've shown you the front end of the portal and its basic features. Now let's open the CMS. This is a place where you configure everything that is displayed on the front end of the portal. As I have already mentioned, everything that has just been presented can be configured. Let me give you an example. Let's say I want to customize the dashboard and add a new tile with another type of documents. Let me open the dashboard again. Here, only invoices are displayed. Let's say I want my personal dashboard also to display information about the total number of quotes that are available on the portal. To do this, I'm going to go to the CMS site. Here I'm going to go to the home section. As you can see here, all the currently available tiles. Since all the tiles in every group are based on a single data source, but the data source that I need, quotes in my case, are not available in any of them. For this reason, I'm going to create a new queue group. Let's name it pre-sale statistics, for example. I need to specify the icon that will be displayed for that group. For example, I'll choose this one. Then I need to select the data source. In my case, it's the quote, because this data source contains information about the quotes that I need with the quote records. Then actually I need to create a tile. I'll give it the title quotes. Also, I'll select an image that will be displayed on the tile. for example, this one. Then I need to specify the width settings, because I don't want my tile to be different from all the others. I know that the width of the other tiles is 4. That's why I'm setting the same setting. By the way, you can specify it per device type, such as the phone, tablet, desktop, and so on. Now I'm going to save and publish, and let's see the results on the dashboard. Here you can see that our tile has appeared, and it displays that I have one quote here available in the portal. But if I click it, nothing happens. But I can make it clickable if I want to. For example, if I go back again to the CMS site and select the Navigate to page, then I'm going to select the page that I need. In my case, it's quotes, which is also available from the menu. So if I go back and refresh the page and try to click it, as you can see, the list of quotes has been opened with that one quote, which is available at the moment. Okay, that was one of the examples. By the way, if you noticed, for every setting on the portal, we have tooltips available here. They have been added for to help admins who are going to configure their portals, to help them set it up correctly. Now let me give you another example. For example, right now I want to modify the default look of a page. That is the layout of controls on a page every time the user opens it for the first time. So I decided that some of the columns are more important than the others for a specific role, and I would like them to be visible among the first fields that you see for every user that belongs to this role. In addition to that, I would like to disable some of the features, for example, or make other features available. So for this example, I'll use the currently available orders page here. If I go to the grid tab, as you can see, these are all the currently available columns. Let's say I decide that the total gross weight and the total net weight columns are more important for me. That's why I want them to be displayed a bit earlier. To do this, I simply drag them to the place that I need. In addition, I'll go to the settings here. Here you can see all the currently chosen settings for this specific view, such as it can be made reorderable, resizable, and sortable. And also grouping is enabled. Let's, for example, disable grouping and see what happens. So if I save and publish and go back to the orders view, as you can see, the grouping header has been disabled. Now it's not available anymore. I cannot group by dragging columns here. Also, the total net and gross rates information has been moved to the left so that it is displayed right away. The configuration that you perform in CMS defines the look and available features on the portal pages, as well as availability of information. And it is based on the source data which comes from NAV or on entities which you create directly on the portal. But what if we want to add more new content to be displayed on the front end of the portal? To do this, we will need to modify the portal configuration on the NAV connector side. So let's jump into NAV, where I'm going to show you how to use the connector to configure data that would come to the portal. But before we go to the connector settings, let's first go to the operational orders. And by the way, here is the role center. Here you can see our agent comment that we added to one of the orders, which is displayed right away. I can resolve, reject it, for example, or run the page to open the order registration task, where this comment is also available in the corresponding field of that task. it is not editable here because it only comes from the portal if it has been added there. Also, let's open the list of operational orders. Go to our order 12. If we choose linked documents. So here is, as you can see, one of the documents, which is called CMR with our description, and the source type portal, which means it has been synchronized from the portal to Logiqstar. From here, the person, such as forwarder, for example, can view the document and print it out if required. And to make this communication possible both ways, this person can from here send another document which will be available on the portal. For example, let's attach another document, for example, a delivery note. Then I'll select a file with it. This checkbox here defines whether this document that I'm adding will be available for synchronization with the portal, because if I leave it cleared, it will not be added on the portal side. So here is our document. We'll just choose OK. And if I go to the front end of the portal again, and open order 12. Here you can see this delivery now document that has been instantly synchronized and arrived from Logiqstar to the portal, where another user with another role can view it and download it from here and open it up and so on. But let's go back to the connector and see how it looks like. Here, as you can see, all the available settings of the NAV connector side. It basically consists of the log, where you can see the errors that might happen during the export or import of data. You can perform some general setup where you basically just enable or disable this functionality. But we are more interested in this new setup, which is called portal entities. This is like the main configuration place where you define what type of data will come from Logiqstar to the portal and back. So every entity here represents either a single table with some fields from it, or several tables from Logiqstar that can be made available on the portal. So if I choose edit, as you can see, here's what it includes. Some table with some fields, and in this case it includes also related tables. This is made in such a way that if you select this entity on the portal side, the fields from the related tables will be available as well. So let's say I want to make more information to be displayed on the partner portal, and I want to, let's say, add a list of standard items to be available for customers. To make this happen, I'm going to create a new portal entity, which will be based on the item table, the standard one. Then I'll synchronize this table with the portal to make it available in CMS for configuration. And after that, I'll create a new page on the portal that would display this data on the front end. So let me demonstrate this scenario, how to do it. I'm simply going to add a new portal entity. I'll give it a code to which is used to identify it in the NAV connector. Then I'll give it a name. Here is the type that defines whether this data can be only exported to the portal, can be imported, or can go both ways. In this case, I need only export. Then I need to add the tables that I need. In this case, it's 27 item. Then I need to select some of the fields for which will be available in the portal. I can select them one by one, or just simply select a bunch of them. let's say in addition to information from this table, I would like to, for customers, I would like to see the vendor name, and the vendor name is not available here, I mean in this table. So I'll need to add another table and make a table relation to it. So I'm choosing new. Then I go to the table relations setup. I'm choosing the fields from both tables that will be used to link them. And then I'll select the field from this specific vendor table that will be also available in this portal entity. In my case, I need the name of the vendor. Since this field name does not specify that it is a vendor name, I'll change the node names so that I can easily find it on the portal side. Then I need to release the newly created portal entity. That's pretty much it on this side. I can actually force the export of data to the portal, but since I have the corresponding job queue set up, which is used to synchronize data automatically, I do not have to do it. It will be done right away automatically. So I'm simply going to close it. So the next step is I'm going to the CMS site where I'll need to create the page on the site that will display data from this new entity that I have just added. So I'm going to create a new grid page. I'm going to call it items. Again, I need to select some image for the menu icon. For example, let it be this star. Then I'm selecting the data source. In this case, it is items. As you can see, it has become available here. In this case, all these data sources are based on the Logiqstar tables, but this is not a requirement. You can create data sources directly on the portal independently from the ERP system. Then I'll go to the grid where actually I need to add some of the fields that will be displayed. Since I need to do it one by one here, I'll just add a couple of them. For example, item number. This is like a caption of a field. Then, for example, a description. And, for example, unit price. And let's add another one, which is the vendor name, which is from the table that we linked to that data source. Then I'll go to the settings. I'll add some of the features that I want to make available on this specific new page. For example, let it be possible to reorder the columns, to resize them, to sort them. And for example, I'll also enable grouping. Then I'll go to the important tab, which is called permissions. So the partner portal is designed to share information with different parties, depending on their role. For example, Logiqstar uses it for communication between such parties as transport company, warehouses, customers, forwarder, etc. So here you can define the role to share information with the portal members that belong to that role. So here you can see we have some of the predefined roles here, such as buyer, customer, seller, transporter, and agent. I can either set up the same permissions for multiple roles here, like which of the fields will be visible, for example, or which of the features become available here, such as export to Excel or saving as PDF. Or you can create several permissions lines and make different permission settings for different roles here. So in this way, you can customize your portal to different roles here. But in my case, I'm simply going to, since I'm the administrator on this side, I belong to this role, I'm going to specify the permissions for this role, actually for all of them, let it be. So I'm going to save and publish. And if I go back and refresh this page, here you can see that items menu has appeared. If I open it, and the data instantly becomes synchronized with NAV, and here are the fields, the columns that I have added, including the features that I selected, such as sorting, availability of columns, filtering. Also, I can group them because I selected to be able to do so. And also, I can export this information to PDF or Excel. Let me actually demonstrate this. Or also, as alternatively, I can save it in the PDF format. And where the data is also will be displayed and available for printing, for example. So these were just a couple of examples of how you can expand and customize the content available on the partner portal. You can always configure the portal to adjust it to your business needs without any additional development involved. This is the end of live demonstration, so let me go back to the presentation. And the last but not least, everything you have just seen if in the front end is responsive. By responsive, I do not mean performance, even though the portal doesn't have any problems with performance, but by responsive, I mean the user interface that automatically adapts to the screen depending on the device that you use to access the partner portal. Here is an example of how the partner portal adapts to the screen of a mobile device. On this slide, you can see how the dashboard from the current configuration would look like on a desktop web browser. And here is how the look of the dashboard is automatically changed on the iPad and phone screens. For example, as you can see, the controls are readjusted to the size of the screen to make data as readable as possible. And the menu on the iPhone version becomes hidden under the menu button and so on. Before moving on to the concluding part of the webinar, let me say a few words about the plans for Logiqstar Partner Portal for year 2018. The version of the portal that you have just seen is just a foundation for future improvements. So here are the highlights of the primary features that we are going to focus on this year. In the first quarter, such new features are going to be developed for the portal as even further improved filtering on list pages. Notifications are going to be added, which will enable customers and partners to subscribe to certain events of the portal. For example, if a new document is created or field value has been modified, then the user will receive a notification about it when visiting the portal. And also the setup that configures graphics, like graphs, which you see in the portal dashboard, is going to be improved. As for the second quarter, the planned new features include WYSIWYG Page Designer. WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. This functionality should greatly simplify the process of page creation and make this process more user-friendly. And in addition to that, auto-calculated fields are going to be added These are the fields that display the result of a calculation according to a specific formula. On top of that, a booking platform is planned to be added. This functionality will enable customers to get tariffs from Logiqstar, as well as create new orders directly from the portal. In the fourth quarter, new functionality is planned that will provide the possibility to track the activity of users on the portal. This tracked information could be used for analytical purposes, for example, to define what kind of content is more popular or is more interesting pool for the users. In addition to that, tags are going to be introduced in the portal. This will allow to tag records on the portal and then use these tags, for example, to filter or search data. And finally, as a general strategy of the portal, this solution is going to maintain its cloud-enabled status. It is actually already cloud-enabled and on-premise. So on-premise hosting is not necessary. In the background, we provide Azure hosting, which we configure and monitor as well as provide support. So customers should not worry about it at all. This is all that I was going to show you today. An important final note here. Everything that you have seen today, either in the NAV connector or on the portal side, is the default package that will be shipped. But using the flexible configuration capabilities of the connector, you will be able to add much more content to be shared via the portal if you desire to do so. So thanks to everyone who joined in. On the screen, you can see information about the people that you can contact if you want to learn more. Also, you're welcome to subscribe to our social media channels, our Facebook and LinkedIn pages. The links are displayed on the screen. Now it's time to answer any questions that you might have at this point. So please join the chat in Skype for Business, where the team behind Logiqstar, namely behind the Logiqstar partner portal, and namely it is Sergey Chernenko and Eric Robits. They're ready to provide additional information. So feel free and shoot your questions there. As for the presentation part of the webinar, it's time to sign off. So stay tuned for more, and thanks for joining in.
Hello, video room. This is Sergey talking. Thank you very much for your question. Unfortunately, for the moment, it is not possible just to preview the documents. You have to download them, but that's a good idea. We will put it in our backlog and see maybe we can introduce it in the nearest future. Thank you again for the question. Let's wait for another couple of minutes. If someone comes in with a question, we will still be able to answer. All right, I see someone typing. Perfect. Yeah, actually, that's absolutely possible. You don't need to use any ERP system to send data. You can just create your own website, absolutely even not connected to the ERP system. But if in addition you need data coming from ERP, CRM, or whatsoever system that can communicate via web services, then it's absolutely possible. So the short answer is absolutely yes. Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions? I would be more than happy, together with Eric and Dennis, to answer them. All right. Sounds like there are no more questions.
Yeah, sounds
Dennis?
to be so. Yeah. So I think so. We'll just crown it up. Okay. If any new questions would arise, that they can just send it. They can send it in an email later.
So yes, and thank you everyone for joining the webinar. And again, as Dennis mentioned, please send all the questions or watch the webinar later on YouTube if you still wanted to go over it. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Okay, thanks everyone.